Hello everyone, thank you for coming to my end presentation of my graduation project. Hope everything goes well with you. Although we might be several time zones apart, I have the feeling of being surrounded by all of you. So, let's start. My project is called Master My Flight, aiming for improving sleeping experience for passengers in long-haul flights. This project started with Flying V, a V-shaped energy-efficient aircraft with 20% less fuel consumption, but the same passenger capacity compared with Airbus A350. This innovative aircraft provides two keywords of the background information of my project. The first is long-haul flight, which refers to flights taking more than 8 hours, and the second is economy class, because the current oval cabin is designed for different types of economy class passengers. Today, I will show you how this project was developed through these design phases. There are 5 sections. The first is context exploration from literature review, focusing on the objective factors in the context. The second is user research. Several user-centered methods were used to analyze the subjective factors from passengers' perspective. Then the project will be redefined with a concrete design goal, based on the valuable insights from the previous 2 sections. Next is the conceptualization, explaining how those initial ideas and concepts were converged and developed into the final concepts. In the last section, the evaluation of the final concept was conducted, and the final design will be delivered with a demo. I believe most of you have experienced several sleep problems in the long-haul flight, especially during the cruise time. It's difficult to keep asleep as long as you wish, and also uncomfortable to keep one posture for a long time. We all know there are a lot of constraints and unfavorable conditions in the economy cabin, but what exactly the major reasons are? I found these following objective factors in desk research. The first is uncontrollable climate, including light, air circulation, dehydration, and temperature. In this public context, individuals have very little freedom to adjust these factors based on personal condition. The most severe one is the low humidity, which is only 1/3 of the comfortable level. Then is the noise. The cabin noise is 2 to 3 times decibel of the sleep recommended level. The noise could be generated from crying baby or snoring neighbors, and also could be from the operating turbine and the safety alarm broadcast from the flight attendants. The third major factor is the seat, with limited leg room and limited range of seat back adjustment. Passengers are fixed in the seat and have to keep a stiff posture, which could directly lead to backache and neck pain. Additionally, compared with other transportation tools, the jet lag is the most annoying factor. A long-haul flight could fly across 4 to 8 time zones, disordering the body clock. All these factors lead to physical discomfort during the in-flight sleep. And what's the worst, this would further affect mental health. Passengers would easily get anxious and depressed after a bad in-flight sleep. Most factors mentioned here are restricted by objective conditions in order to meet certain requirements of regulation. But what are the situations from passengers' perspective? I did some user research for a more complete picture, including the pre- and post stages. First, I did a cooperation session with 14 participants who have related long-haul flight experiences. Through the analysis, a pattern was found, and I concluded the results into a passenger journey map. Although people have different habits, there are 4 main phases for them in a complete journey. Preparation before flight, adaptation after boarding, cruise flight and before landing. As shown in the figure, cruise time is the most unsatisfactory phase, where most negative emotions appear. because passengers are stuck in the loop from being asleep and being awake. Also, they would feel embarrassed when they want to use the toilet, but not sure if their neighbor would be disturbed. The journey map also indicates that more activities are performed during the other three phases, like choosing preferred airlines, preparing sleep aid tools in hand luggage, and adjusting the posture after boarding. These might not directly related to sleep, but also influence the sleep quality in the cabin. Therefore, there is much flexibility and more potential during these phases. Then I did an online survey to gather the quantitative data. The questionnaire was answered by 109 participants who have experienced at least one time of long-haul flight. The results shows that the dominant factor for waking up in flight is the flight attendants and the service, followed by the environment and self-conditioned factors. And the similar finding is shown in an in-cabin comfort model. In this passenger-centered model, pre-flight environment and interaction with others would directly influence passengers' comfort level. To conclude, there are two main findings. The first is the previous and post phases also play an important role, so only focusing the in-flight time is not enough. The second is the interaction with others, including crews and neighbors, would also influence in-flight experience, which was often neglected in design. After this, I started wondering, is a night's sleep only passengers want? What do they really need in the flight? So I tried to dig deeper, from general comfort level to the fundamental needs level. From the group session, I gathered dozens of ideas of what an ideal flight experience should be. Then, these ideas were clustered into 6 categories: physical comfort, isolated and private bubble, customization environment, transparent information, organized space, and interesting new experience. Indeed, many of these requirements are not related to the objective environment or hardware facilities at all. It seems that passengers have multiple kinds of psychological needs. I also found that these clustered ideas could perfectly fit in another comfort model proposed by Doomer, which could also be seen as evidence from secondary research. And still, I proved it within a larger research sample. In the questionnaire, I let participants answering the question of which aspect needs to be improved most in the long-haul flight, prioritizing the factors based on their previous experience. Next to the comfort of seat, the privacy was at the second place, which means they'd like to have more personal space and don't want to be disturbed. To conclude the research findings, they need not only physical or mental health, but also a lot of other demanding, like privacy, transparent information, customization, new experience, and so on. Well, based on the research findings, I found that the real problem of passengers is they feel losing control in the long-haul flight with an unfamiliar, unstable, and unclear environment. Therefore, the project is redefined. The design goal is to make passengers who want to have a nice sleep feel more in control during different phases in long-haul flight. To make the goal more concrete, I chose 3 words as interaction vision: security, flexibility, and serenity. And my target users are all long-haul flight passengers in economy class. They're categorized into 3 typical groups. Group A is inexperienced travelers who might take the flight for the first time. So, they're likely to feel lost, don't know what to do. Group B is experienced travelers with casual schedule who have several times experiences. but still faced with the problem of discomfort. And Group C is frequent traveler, who have a personal routine, but they're worried about being interrupted when they have busy schedule. Now the project brief is pretty clear. The next question is, how can I achieve it to make passengers back to a neutral state from other emotion to feel more in control? In the conceptualization phase, these three sub-design goals are interpreted separately with detailed requirements. Also, the link between them and the target users are described. First, security. It means passengers should be informed of the updated information, the whole schedule, and should be aware of the condition of their own and their neighbors. This quality is important to Group A, who need to feel more in control of the unfamiliar surroundings. Therefore, the concept provides the overview of the flight journey, friendly guidance of relaxation, and recommendations. Second quality is flexible, which means to have controllable personal bubble and to freely try multiple choices in flight. This quality focuses on Group B, who are still curious about what they could do in the flight, and they're likely to feel bored. So it's important to pay more attention to find the best way to maintain personal comfort. Therefore, the concept allows them to explore various choices freely, including relaxation activities and setting modes. The last quality is serenity, which means calmness and peace, and there is nothing should be worried about. Group C needs the qualities most, since they have already known a lot about how to adapt to the environment. They should pay more attention to themselves and perform in-flight activities with high efficiency. Therefore, personal report helps them know more about their physical condition, the seamless connection between mobile and in-flight entertainment system, reduce equipment issues, and organized schedules could help them keep daily routine. Then I converged all small elements from concepts into an overview. Here, I added airline as one of the most important stakeholders as well. They are the service provider and the organizer, so the information of different phases would be integrated only when they take part in this system. My design would focus on the digital user interface, including the phone application and the in-flight entertainment system. Digital UI does not only connect physical user interface, but also serves as a communication tool, providing transparent information between passengers and airlines. To conclude, the design concept was developed layer by layer, meeting growing requirements from these three types of users. The next step is to build the concept and evaluate the usability with real users. How do they experience it and what can be further improved? Then I built a high-fidelity prototype and tested it with 10 participants. They have different background and different experience level, covering those three types of passengers. 7 of them tested online, and the rest of them joined the offline test. In the test, they went through tasks in 2 systems separately and filled 2 sets of evaluation forms. Here I would briefly show some key feedbacks from participants. For the phone application system, they appreciated the friendly user interface and clear overview of each phase, which makes them feel informed and secure. Also, people have different opinions of the pre-schedule function. Only for participants with a time arrangement habit is this function practical and useful. And many participants mentioned that they'd like to see more information of the airport, which is closely related to the topic. In terms of the in-flight entertainment system, It was proved as easy to use, flexible to make choices, and provides useful information. Let's look at the scale results. The scores of system usability scale of both systems reach the acceptable and good level. This means they both have high usability and high acceptance. The attractive evaluation shows the consistent characteristics of both systems: clearly structured, manageable, individual-oriented, and pleasant. The quality scale also shows the positive results. So, generally speaking, the design has met most requirements of the design goal. Based on the evaluation results, I made some improvements, and here is a demo of the final design. Master My Flight, designed for long-haul flight passengers. Let's start a new flight journey with Master My Flight. After logging in, make an easy preparation first. It creates a checklist for carry-on luggage. It's also flexible to add, delete, or edit any items you want to change. You can also double-check the details of the flight information. Then, it provides two ways for checking in. You can see the seat map and choose your preferred seat by online checking in. Or you can check in at the airport with the route to the check-in counter. While waiting at the boarding gate, you can have a preview of the flight journey. Here, you could pre-schedule what activities and how long you want to do in the cabin, especially when you have a busy work schedule. Also, it provides a preview of the in-flight service. You can pre-order the food and drinks you like. Now it's time for boarding. It provides a seat map for quick sitting in the right seat. On board, the system would be connected with the in-flight entertainment. Here, you can import the schedule from phone application. During the cruise time, feel free to explore all entertainment. Flight timeline in the bottom indicates the upcoming event. And popping up reminders of in-flight service allow you to choose the preferred time. You can choose to enjoy the service now or later. In addition to normal entertainment, multiple relaxation activities are offered when you want to relax yourself. Guided meditation, nature sound remix, and soothing videos. For creating comfortable personal bubble, there are several setting modes to adjust the light volume for better rest. After several hours of rest, it's time to wake up and refresh yourself. It guides you to do some seat exercises with a reminder and a guided video. Also, your personal flight report is generated and could be downloaded to your phone. Finally, arrive at the destination airport. You can check the reports, see how your health condition is. It also provides all information about the airport facility, so you won't be lost here. It's the end of the journey. Hope you feel more in control. At the last, I would like to discuss the limitations and the recommendations. In this project, I don't have much input from airline perspective, and I hope I can get more insights and feedbacks from the expertise. Also, the final design could be applied based on the current system, but the connection with Flying V is not strong enough. So maybe the cutting-edge technologies would be integrated in the design, like health monitor and analysis equipment. And for more passengers in different seat zones, like lounge seats, there are still many potentials. And the last point is the higher requirements of pleasure. As I mentioned in the conceptualization phase, there are 3 levels. I think the next level would be the pleasant, which could be added after achieving the fundamental need. Thank you for your listening. If you have any question, don't hesitate. Feel free to ask me.